All right, let's take a look at the Everstart Maxx power inverter. It's rated at 1000 watts max continuous power with a 2-year warranty from Walmart. And it looks quite nice on the outside. It has a nice panel with 220 volt outlets and a USB and a clicky power button. I'd rather have a rocker, but that's okay, I guess. It does come with a couple nice features, such as battery clamps and an accessory plug. So, let's unbox the thing, and which I already unboxed. Of course, there's a manual. Always nice to have a text manual. Here's the inverter itself. Some assembly required. One more thing that comes with it is a fuse on the positive terminal. That's really nice to have. Otherwise, you would have to buy it and install it. And the lugs for the battery are pretty nice. I mean, for a 1000-watt inverter, it's okay. The wire is 8 gauge, which is okay as well, given the power that this thing is supposed to run. My experience with it, even though you can see it here, displayed as running a saw, this is actually not a saw. This is like a hedge trimmer. So yeah, this might actually work. I mean, a hedge trimmer might work, definitely not a saw. And definitely not other heavy tools, such as, for example, an orbital sander. Will definitely not run it. So let's get a battery here. Okay, this is a lead acid car battery. Pull it out of my trunk. It should have about 12.5 volts, and let's connect the positive first and then the negative. Ouch. That's always a good sign. Whenever you have a spark, that means that the capacitors are actually starting to work. All right, so here we go. It says 0 volts. Oh, the battery is kind of low. One thing that you gotta be aware of is this is not a full Sine-Wave inverter. That means that if you try to connect your iPhone, right, with your Apple cord over here, the iPhone's gonna go kind of loopy. In my case, for example, I'm gonna pull my iPhone over here, quite an old iPhone, and get a cord. So let's power the iPhone with this. The display went kind of odd over there. So the iPhone, as you can see, is working. How much battery you have? We have 67%, and it's responsive, as we can see. Now I'm gonna plug the thing on, and I see nothing happening here. Let's see. It says it's charging, right? However, if I go back to the camera, oh, look at that. I saw the camera like flicker a little bit, but otherwise it's looking fine. So nice. The iPhone does seem to work fine with this. This is cool. Usually the screen goes a little bit funny, and it will, or funky, and it will not detect your touch. So yeah, it's nice. I like that. All right. Now, one thing that I did not like a lot about this guy over here is its serviceability. Most inverters will include a set of fuses, for example, blade fuses, like car fuses, and this one does not. I'm gonna open it in the next few minutes. I'm gonna attach that video, and I'll show you what it actually uses for the fuse. And it's not great. In any case, it's powering this guy over here. The battery is not fully charged, so of course this is not fair. But I'm gonna try and run a heavy tool on it. Alright, so this is an orbital sander, and it does run a lot of amps on it. A Ryobi orbital sander, it's 120 volts, as we can see over here. I'm trying to figure out how many amps are on this, but definitely, let's see, 120 volts, 60 hertz. It doesn't say. Maybe 2.6 amps. Yeah. All right. So let's see what happens when you try and run something that's too large for it. Oh, look at that. The battery immediately took a hit because it's kind of a small battery, but still, and as you can hear, the fans are working on it, which they're supposed to, but that is actually pretty nice. I did not expect it to be able to work, and of course it's saying, yeah, you need to charge that battery. Alright. It's also giving me an audible alarm, but I am actually pleasantly surprised. It was able to run the little sander. Probably with a bigger battery, I would be able to run a bigger tool. This is probably as big as I would run, so something close to 3 amps, not larger than that. But that's nice. Pretty capable little device. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is I am going to turn off the little guy over here. Switch it off, right? And of course, disconnect it. To open this guy, which is not an easy thing to do, matter of fact, it's not built for user servicing. You're gonna need, first of all, a large Phillips screwdriver to remove the large screws here in the lugs. Let's drop these things here. Here's our fuse. Comes with a 200 amp fuse. I don't know why 200 amps. It's definitely not gonna run that much. They should have included something smaller. Maybe it's because it was inexpensive. I'm sure somebody who designed this knows the reason. And of course, these are not the only wires that it comes with. This is quite nifty as well. It was nice. I mean, including both the clamp wires and the car service 12 volt wires as well. These of course are smaller gauge. I can't really see what kind of gauge this is. Let's see, 20, no. What the heck is that? 2 by 14, so it's 14 wire, not 8 like this one. All right, now that we have done that, and we can see what the markings are over here, hopefully, for positive and negative, right? Otherwise, I would have to make note of that because the color-coded caps need to go. I'm gonna use a flathead to remove this little guy here. There we go. There goes one of the caps. Here goes, and I'm gonna try and speed this up, of course, because I'm not gonna be very quick about this. Let's see. And you probably don't want to say, I have no background music or anything, so I'm gonna bore the heck out of you. Next, we're gonna need a 3/16 hex wrench. There goes one of the outer screws. Let's do the next one. It's 4 screws on this little cover, which is only for show, doesn't do much. Stylish. Alright, and let's see if we can remove the covers. This one. There's always one that doesn't want to come out. And here's where the flat head screwdriver comes in handy. Let's see, can I remove it in here? Yeah, I'm gonna have to pry it. Did I remove all the? Yeah, I did. All 4 screws are off. So there we go. That's pried. And as you can see, you're gonna basically lock it this way, like it has these tabs at the bottom, which you insert and then you pry them. That's the same way you pry it off. All right. Next, okay, so here's the thing with this guy. Like I said, it's not built for serviceability. So the screws are way in there. And the diameter on the screw holes is pretty small. So I needed kind of a longer screwdriver over here. And the fact is, you're gonna need a combination of kind of a largish Phillips head, but longish, right? So this is about, I would say about 3 inches long, 3.5 inches long. And these guys were really locked in there. So in order to remove them, I was almost stripping the heads on the screws, which required like a very specific type of screwdriver, Phillips, of course, but with a larger head or tip, but longer and extremely narrow, right? So not any screwdriver is gonna fit in here. Once you unlock them, because these screws were pretty much locked with a little bit of glue or something, you want to screw them back nicely, but not too tight, otherwise you're gonna strip them. And if you strip them, there's no way you're gonna be able to remove the thing other than cutting in. All right, so is that, no, not yet. Let's see. Yeah, it's jumping there. I'm gonna use the other one, the one with the larger head. And I can see it is actually coming off. So the back side. It is coming off. All right, and the other side. Yep, this one's still pretty much screwed in. There we go. These other screws need to be removed as well. They are holding this lug over here, this 12 volt terminal. So you're gonna need to remove them as well. Just take this off. Here they are. Okay, it's almost off. I'll screw just a little bit more over here on this side. See that? Yeah, it is up. Okay. Now I'm gonna use a magnetic tipped screwdriver to remove this guy over here because I don't want to lose them. There goes one. So these are the ones that hold the terminal. As you can see, this side will stay in the board. This side, the positive side, so the negative side stays on the board. The positive side will come off with the backplate and the fans. And it doesn't look like it wants to come off. Let's see, I got everything here. Did I take everything that I needed to take? Huh. Okay. So this guy should have come off. I don't know why it's not coming off, but in any case, I'm gonna have to remove this other side. And look at that, how deep that goes. And it's off. It's off. Like I said, I already removed this previously, which is why it wasn't that much work, but originally it was a real pain getting those screws off and unscrewed. All right, now the front side, oops, something fell off. I'm hoping that I didn't miss a screw. The front side does have a couple connectors that you're gonna have to remove. So there's one, and this is where I use either my long nose pliers, or if I don't have some on hand, I can use a screwdriver, flathead. So there it is, there's one. All right, this will give me an actual bit of I guess slack to work with this. There's another one in there. I don't know if can be seen by the camera, but this wire over here needs to be removed as well. Now there's also soldered wires, as can be seen over here. So if we needed to remove this top over here, unfortunately we have to unsolder these 3 wires which go to the panels and the power. Well, actually the panel is this wire over here. This is just power, the outlets and the USB. All right, so let's see, can we slide this? Yep, we can slide. Okay, so the reason it's not coming off this side, or the back side is not coming off, is because it has the heatsink. Sorry, this is kind of a heatsink, yeah, but the plate for the positive power screwed like so over here. Hopefully you can see it. So there's one little screw that we gotta remove. Make sure you don't lose them, because this is what makes the contact with the positive side, and you want that to happen. You probably want to also maybe add some contact grease or something. And there it is. So as we can see, this is the positive plate and this is the positive terminal. Here's one of the connectors for the fans. I think we have 2 of them. And we want those fans to turn on whenever necessary. So let's remove them carefully. They are flimsily soldered in. Oops. And we have the back screws coming off. They're all the same size, which is a good thing. Wow, I'm sweating. I should have air conditioning here, but I don't. All right, let's try that again. Come on, get up. Let's remove this little guy without breaking. I'm gonna have to remove it using the pliers. Come on. Come on, I don't want to break you. There we go. That's one. Fan connector. 2 fan connectors. And our end cap is off. Okay. All right, so now we can remove the center body cover. As we can see over here, it has a rail on which the board slides through. Right? And we gotta make sure that we slide it this way, like with the E facing the outlets, and the wet word facing the back connector. This is our board, and like I said, this is the panel connector, the panel wire over here. There it is. I can definitely remove that, but I cannot remove the power wires for the outlets without desoldering. So definitely not that serviceable. This is your circuit board for the Everstart 1000 watt power inverter. And things to see over here, you'll notice that there is no actual fuse that you can remove. There's a couple connector wires over here that may act as fuses, and basically your fuse is the negative lug, which is connected over here. And this thing, let's see, there, this thing is glued like hell there. There's just not removing that thing. I tried, and you're gonna basically break this little wire that's doing the job of connecting your negative terminal, which is, as you can see, very flimsy, and also functioning as a fuse. So when you blow the actual fuse on the thing, it will actually blow the wire. And if you might be able to see over there, I already repaired this guy over here by resoldering the wire. That's not very close, but I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it to focus there. So I had to fix this little guy because I already blew the fuse on it, trying to get it to do more than it can. And that's it. I mean, unfortunately, there's not that many videos on how to unsolder this specific guy. Only the smaller version, the 750 watt one. And let's see if I can show you a little bit of what the heat sinks look like. There's not much in terms of heat sinks. The power transistors over here, I think they're MOSFETs, are covered and are connected to the heat sinks using this plate over here. Hopefully you can see that. I'll put that back in. Capacitors, transformers, more power capacitors, and diodes. Had I blown one of these, I'd be pretty much screwed, because getting diodes not that easy nowadays. It's not like DG is still in business. And it was very likely that I would have blown, if you blow your fuse over here, or makeshift fuse that they added there, it was very likely that I would have blown one of the diodes. Luckily I did not, so that's why you saw the thing working. And the capacitors might have blown as well, but that's very rare. Usually the diodes blow up first, and sometimes you also need to change the transistors, at which point servicing the unit would not have been that, I guess, cost effective. All right, so I'll put this guy back and continue to use it. I like it, except for the fact, once again, that it's not that user serviceable. But otherwise, yeah, it ran a largish or medium-sized tool, so it gets a thumbs up.